Hi guys, this is Pete and this is my point of view of the upcoming game of United versus Chelsea that's happening tomorrow at 5:30 Saturday. Uh, Today we're going to go into just like my opinions about the game. Also, we're going to talk about, inevitably, we're going to talk about Ronaldo and with the club now suspending him. And I've also got the results of a poll I did on Twitter and just some comments that came off that poll that I'm going to discuss as well. And as it being, we're going to start with the Ronaldo situation. So, first is my opinion. Obviously, I think the club are completely right to make suspend him for the game, to make him train by himself. What he did, obviously, is totally unacceptable, and I'm glad that Erik ten Hag is putting his foot down. I think it needs to be done. It needs to be shown that nobody's bigger than the club. No player, even one that's the greatest of all time like Ronaldo, is bigger than the club, and also nobody has more authority than the manager. That's something that we need to obviously stamp into place, and the club has backed Erik ten Hag up into that. I put out a poll on Twitter yesterday just to see what people thought should be the next step with Ronaldo. The four options, obviously, in that were: should he get a hefty fine? Should he train with the under-21s? Should we sell him in January, or should there be no further punishment? I think it was kind of expected, the results that we got. 5% said there should be a hefty fine. 7% said he should train with the under-21s. 73%, unsurprisingly, said we should sell him in January. And then 15% said there should be no further punishment. I was a little bit surprised by that. And I think we got 65 people taking part in that poll, so that was quite good. Some of the comments from that, so Sammy tweeted in saying he only has 3 months left to be a Man United player, in which I don't expect him to play for the team again. Then we've got Erik ten Hag prop, who tweeted in saying no player is bigger than the club. Erik ten Hag and the board are on a mutual level, and as for his future, we will find out soon enough. I totally agree with that sentiment, that no player is bigger than the club, and obviously, in my opinion, I think in January we will sell. Now we go on to Craig, who tweeted and said, let him go in January, it will be best for both parties. A replacement must be found, and he also went on to say that we should sign Gakpo, and that it'd be perfect with him being able to play off the left and through the middle. And if Gakpo didn't happen, then he'd go for Tony. Now, for me, I'd prefer to sign Gakpo as a replacement for Ronaldo, because he's just a little bit offers us another option off the left, and he can play down the middle. But Tony is a really good striker, and he gives you that kind of target that maybe United could do with. He's pretty prolific, obviously, takes good penalties, good at free kicks. My only thing is, I think that Gakpo would cost us 35 million quid, whereas I think Brentford will be rubbing their hands together dealing with United and asking for 50-60 million, which seems a little bit steep. Even though he has started to prove himself in the Premier League now, I just feel like that is a little bit steep with regards of the price. And then also we had JD at the Shoestring podcast tweeting saying, so happy that Ronnie is out of the team with him being suspended. And he said, in regards to the game for Chelsea, that Rashford is key. And if we bring the same intensity as we did versus Spurs, we'll win easy. Just before we go on to the Chelsea game, I want to say, give the guys at the Shoestring Budget podcast a look. Give them a like and a subscribe on, and turn your bell on the notifications. Putting really good content out there, mainly about United, but also about football in general, and they're really worth a watch. I tune in regularly. I'm hoping to go on at some point, so I can put my opinions out there about United too. So definitely give them a like and a subscribe. So now we'll go into the Chelsea game. Obviously, first I'm going to start with my predicted 11 for the Chelsea game. Now, I'd go for pretty much the same team we played against Tottenham. And I'm going to feel bad saying this because I thought Fred was superb, but the only player I would change would most probably be Ericsson in for Fred. But we know how Ten Hag is, and he might stick with the same team. So my predict 11 then, I'll go from top to bottom, is David De Gea. Obviously, I hope he keeps up the same distribution that he showed against Spurs. Obviously, he didn't have loads to do, but we know that he's a great shot stopper. If he can improve that other side of his game, coming for the ball, and obviously the distribution out from the back, we've got one of the best keepers in the world there. If he can do that, I'd stick with Delo at right back. Absolutely superb in the last game. Let's hope he keeps up, because obviously the couple of games before that his performances wasn't the best. So I'm hoping he can keep up that level now on a consistent basis, like he showed at the first couple of games at the start of the season. Then Varane, I'd stick with. Obviously, he's been superb, I think, in every game that he's played this season. Obviously, it was a bit unfortunate that he got that injury the other day, and Lindelof did come in and fill in well, but I'd stick with Varane. I think, you know, defensively great, passes through the lines, a real leader in the team as well. That's what I'm enjoying seeing, is the fact that we have got a couple of leaders now in the team. And then obviously next to him, I'd stay with Martinez. I think he's been superb since we've signed him, and as I've said before, such a hard case, just intensity, really good. So I'd stick with him, and I'd stay with Shaw on the left. I feel like, you know, he's playing a lot better than he has been. Like last season, wasn't there, but he seems to have took the kick up the arse that he needed from us signing Malacia, and he's seeming to get back to his best. And just that overlap on the left hand side is a key part to our game, and he seems to bring the best out of Sancho. So hopefully he can keep that up. Moving into the midfield, obviously Casemiro's got to stay in the team. Been absolutely superb. Obviously didn't get into the team straight away, but now we're starting to see the reason why we bought him. And actually, I feel like there's another level to his game that I didn't even expect, which is the way he uses the ball. So you've got to stick with him. Obviously, we need to dominate that midfield. That's going to be one of the key things against Chelsea, is to dominate that midfield. So hopefully with Casemiro in there, breaking up the play and getting the ball forward, keeping it simple but getting it forward quick will be key. Now, I'd obviously, like I said, I'd bring back in Ericsson. Even though Fred was superb, and obviously he got the goal, was a little bit lucky, and he was involved in the second goal. I think Ericsson just offers us that little bit more going forward, that bit more guile, you know, to open up a defence. And obviously Chelsea are quite good in defence, so I'm hoping that Ericsson can unlock that defence. Maybe get Rashford in behind with his pace, because Koulibaly's decent, and so's Fofana. Fofana's pretty quick, but if he can get onto Koulibaly's shoulder, I don't know. I think he can keep up with Rashford. And if they bring in Silva instead of one of those two, obviously that's something I think Rashford should definitely be doing with Silva. Stay on his shoulder and go, because I don't think Silva can keep up with that pace. Then next we go for Bruno. Bruno was superb the other day, and I hope he can keep it up consistently now. Obviously, some fans were getting on his case, which I think was totally unjustified. He's not had a great start to the season, but he's the only player I think you can put in as the 10, even though, because I prefer Ericsson deeper. I just think that Fernandes is the key that unlocks lots of teams for us. And now if he can keep up that form consistently that he showed the other night, I think we've got the player back. And as a leader, as a captain, he's doing a great job. You know, yeah, everyone says he moans and stuff, but I honestly feel like the way he puts pressure on the referees and the way he demands more from his teammates is actually a really good thing. Then next on the right, stick with Antony. What more do we need to say about Antony? Been superb since we signed him. I thought he had a really good game against Spurs as well, and you just hope for more of the same thing. Hopefully that chemistry between him and Delo on the right hand side keeps on improving, because that was much better against Spurs. So obviously the more we go into the season, I hope that carries on. Then on the left hand side, I would stick with Sancho. I know he didn't have the busiest game, but he did get an assist against Spurs. and I just feel like we need to stick with him, keep his confidence going forward. And obviously, with Ronaldo not playing, I feel it's 99% sure that Rashford goes through the middle because I don't think that Martial's back, is he? So I think Rashford's going to go straight through the middle, and obviously Sancho needs to go out on that left and try and beat his man, be direct, you know, use the link up play, use the 1-2s with Shaw, get Shaw on the overlap, and I feel like that'll be a key place in that left hand side with Reece James not playing at right back and Chelsea not having loads of depth there. I feel like we could really take advantage of that tomorrow. And then Rashford through the middle. He had a good game against Spurs, just he didn't have his shooting boots on. I just feel like if he, can find that end product, like find that finish, he's going to do well for us down the middle. Obviously, when Martial gets fit, if he ever gets fit, then I would play Martial down the middle. But at the moment, I think Rashford's our best option, and hopefully we'll see him have a good performance. Now we'll move on to Chelsea. Like obviously I've covered a little bit, but obviously the key points to stopping Chelsea. Obviously first, hope that Kepa starts to doesn't put in as good a performance as he's been putting in lately. Because since Potter's come in, he's been superb. Obviously I think we have to control the midfield. Casemiro and Eriksen will be key to that. But like I said, I would prefer Eriksen, but maybe that's why Fred might stay in the team for his energy and his closing down and the fact that he is really good at pressing. Ten Hag might stick with him and we might close down that midfield because obviously it's stopping Mount. I'm not sure who else is going to play in there. Possibly Gallagher, who's got loads of energy, or Jorginho. Jorginho likes time on the ball, so if we can get to him quick, close him down and put them under pressure like we did against the Spurs midfield, obviously I think that will be key. I'm hoping, obviously, another key thing will be Sancho going up against whoever they're going to play at right back. I'm not sure who they will put out there without James. And Shaw on the overlap, obviously pushing them right back. And I also think on the other side, Anthony can get at Cucurella. Cucurella is a good player and he's full of energy and stuff, but I just feel like Anthony can get at him and drag him inside, get Delo on the overlap, or obviously when Delo is overlapping, if Anthony can cut inside, we know how lethal he is. So obviously I'm hoping that's something that we can exploit. And depending who the centre back partnership is, obviously Rashford with those runs in behind, we all know how good he is at timing those runs. It's just the finishing. If he can get those finishing boots on, I think we haven't got anything to worry about. Now, for me tomorrow, I'm going to give you my score prediction. I honestly think that we'll win. I think it'll be a tight game, but I can see us winning 2-0, 2-1 possibly. And if we have a really good game, putting that performance against Tottenham and Rashford finds his finishing boots, it could be 3-1, 4-1 to United. But we need to keep up the consistency now and obviously try and play the same way we played against Spurs all the time, because it was nice to see us, press high and have that intensity. So that's all from me, guys. Thanks for tuning in. Obviously, if you're new to the channel, please like, subscribe, click that notification button, notifications when I put new videos on. At some point we will start doing lives. I just need to kind of work out the logistics and stuff for that, but hopefully that'll be soon. So cheers for watching, guys. Thanks very much.